Hi, book lovers, and welcome to Book Talk Radio Club. My name is Claire Perkins, and today I'm talking to Richard Wall, author of Fat Man Blues, Hank Williams' Cadillac, and Evel Knievel and the Fat Elvis Diner. Hi, Richard, welcome, and thank you for coming back on Book Talk Radio Club.
Hi Claire, thanks for having me back.
Sure. The last time I interviewed you was back in March this year. How have things been going with your books?
Really well, thanks. Just like every other self-published author, I seem to spend most of my time marketing. Just keeping sales ticking along.
Good.
Since the last time we spoke, I've launched a new website,
All right.
richardwall.org.
Okay, I'll have to have a look at that.
So you can now purchase signed copies of Fat Man Blues. That's working out really well and has resulted in more interest in my other books as well. So
Yeah, I should imagine it would do.
all good so far. All good so far.
Good. I see you're getting some great feedback on Amazon for Fat Man Blues. The book is obviously a hit. Do you think, or do you know, if the sales are coming from Delta Blues fans or readers in general?
From reviews on Amazon and from reviews who contact me, initially the majority of fans were fans of the blues. Majority of readers were fans of the blues.
Right.
As things move on, I'm getting more and more feedback from people who said they knew nothing about the blues before or blues history before reading it. But they're keen to find out more. So it's still primarily blues fans, but I think it's edging towards a balance now. So
Oh, that's good. That's good. I know you recently carried out your first public speaking engagement. Tell Book Talk Radio Club's listeners a bit more about that. How did it go and what was the subject?
well, I live in Worcestershire, which has got a thriving blues music community. And through spamming Fat Man Blues everywhere, I've got to know quite a few local musicians.
Right.
And every year there's a small town of Upton-on-Severn hosts Upton Blues Festival, which is the largest free blues festival in the UK.
Okay.
And this year I was asked if I'd like to give a talk as part of the festival. So I said yes. The next thing I knew, I had a half-page spread in the festival programme billed as an audience with Richard Wall. So I committed to it. They gave me an hour-long slot, and so I talked about how the book idea came about, the writing process, how I came up with certain scenes. I also spoke about marketing the book and gave a nod to some of the cool people that I've met. I've never done this before, so I found it a bit nerve-wracking at first, which is probably good, as I over-prepared. I had to cut out a lot of content to fit it all in, so standing there with nothing to say.
Oh, God. That would be horrible. That would be horrible.
Afterwards, there was a very interesting Q&A session with the audience. They got quite engaged, so I think it all went well and sold a few books, so it was all good.
Oh, brilliant. I read and thoroughly enjoyed your latest book, Hank Williams' Cadillac. This is a story of two guys on a road trip through Texas. Their ancient Honda breaks down next to Bubba's car lot. Bubba persuades them to carry on with their road trip using an old powder blue Cadillac that turns out to be Hank Williams' car, which is powered by supernatural forces. Both this book and Fat Man Blues has some element of the supernatural to them. Is this a theme you're going to continue on with your books?
Well, firstly, thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Sure.
The answer is yes. I've always enjoyed magic realism, stories that are set in the real world, but with sort of crossover to other worlds. For my reading preferences, it sort of adds another layer of interest, and as a writer, it opens doors to new possibilities and plot ideas. So
Right.
it's fun, yeah.
Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed that book. It was absolutely great. Do you intend to make another pilgrimage to America's Deep South for inspiration, or do you find that listening to the Delta Blues music alone inspires you?
The answer is yes. I would love to.
Yes, which one?
Yes, to both. I'd love to. I'm intending to go back. I'm not sure when. Next few years.
Right.
But I also still listen to Delta Blues music all the time, so that still inspires me. And as does other music, like artists like Tom Waits. Some of his writing is excellent. And a line from a Tom Waits song can trigger off all manner of ideas. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love to read books where I can completely immerse myself in another time and place. Fat Man Blues is this type of book. Your story takes the reader on a journey through time, back to the 1930s of America's Deep South. Do you put its success down to the fact that readers can really experience the sights and sounds of that decade through this book and your writing?
Well, it's very kind of you to say you were immersed in it. I'm pleased about that. I'm probably not the best person to answer your second question, but as a self-confessed blues owner, I had to make sure that everything in Fat Man Blues was as authentic as I could possibly make it. During the writing stage, I drew heavily on my own research of blues history, dipping into the many reference books that I've got, and by listening to old interviews, as I've mentioned before.
Right.
So, those old interviews allowed me to give voices to the characters as accurately as I could. So, to hear someone say that he or she was immersed in the story is probably the best compliment any writer could hear.
Well, I think that when you write from experience, especially your type of book, when you can actually talk from having seen it and experienced it, you actually bring the reader into your world, which is fantastic.
Thanks again. Yeah, as well as, I'm writing from sort of cold historic fact, if you like. There's also my memories, my time there, the atmospheres that I've experienced as well.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's all good.
So tell me, your first sell or your first positive feedback, which one was more of a thrill for you and why?
Feedback. First sale was on Kindle and I got about 20p, I think. So. The sales process on Amazon or Kindle is quite remote, and there's no physical transaction as such. So, but logging onto Amazon and seeing the first review, that's kind of concrete endorsement, if you like, of what I'm doing. So, and I still get a buzz now from checking and seeing a new review.
Sure.
So far, they've all been good. So I've been very lucky.
So what's next for Richard Wall?
Well, I've got a few things on the burner. I'm writing. I'm in collaboration with a musician from Hull called Andrew McClatchy.
Right.
He's a bluesman, but he's had an idea for a concept album, which is going to be a supernatural spaghetti western. I'm writing a short story to accompany the CD notes.
Right.
It features a character called Beelzebub Jones, which is and it's been great fun to put together. So that's due out in the autumn.
This sounds so interesting and good fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Yeah. I've also written a song about Fat Man Blues, which a local musician called Gazetteer has recorded.
Right.
Which is going to be on his next CD coming out in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And the next big project, in the early stages of a crime thriller novel set in New York in 1962, featuring a veteran of the Korean War who's got PTSD. There's now a chaplain giving last rites to prisoners on death row.
Good Lord.
It might be a romantic comedy, I'm not sure yet.
So where can Book Talk Radio Club listeners purchase your brilliant books, Richard?
All my brilliant books and Purple Prose are available from Amazon, or if you go to my website, richardwall.org, there are links to all my books from Amazon, and also, as I said before, you can buy all the signed copies of Fat Man Blues.
Lovely. Thank you, Richard. That was terrific. Come back on Book Talk Radio Club again when you've when you published your next book. I'd love to chat with you and hear more. In the meantime, good luck for the future, and thank you everyone for listening to Book Talk Radio Club. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you very much, Claire.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't disappear.